Hello there friends, we're going to do another draft duel tonight. This looks like a relatively easy opening pack because every time I've seen this card so far it's been pretty great. It does cost 6, which is obviously on the more expensive side and double black, but being double coloured isn't such a big deal on an expensive card. The other cards don't seem that great either. There's not really that much close to it. I actually, I quite like Midnight Scavengers, but I mean, if I'm taking a black card, I'll just be taking this one. So yeah, let's slam this one. I mean, I do like some fact or fiction, but this is limited. Blessed Alliance. Well, that is a very sweet one. Edict effects get quite a bit better when they're, attacking edict effects, since it's likely that they're attacking with like an invasion creature rather than just a random guy you don't care about. I could also take Campaign of Vengeance. I do quite like that one. You can build some sweet decks there. There's also like this card, which is also quite good. It's another sort of black-white card. Or I could just take Midnight Scavengers to try and stay open, since I mean like the next best 3 cards are all white, and it could lead to battles in the following packs. Eh, I'm sort of inclined to stay non-committal at this moment, since I like a lot of the other sort of black X color combination decks quite a lot, and white I've not been too impressed with in general. I quite like this Shrill Howler. It's just never terrible. This card is very expensive, not a big fan. And this card is solid in black, good removal. Yeah, not gonna deviate from the plan so far. This is no Hymn to Turak. This card is totally fine, I think. But I actually think like this card is really good. Just because like the mana creatures are in quite low supply, and this having a cheap front side, I suppose technically got a cheap backside, but it goes quite well with Midnight Scavengers if I pick up more of those guys. I wouldn't be too unhappy to like pick this thing or like this thing, but green black is a pretty solid color combination in this format as far as I can tell. There aren't too many exciting things here. Now, I do like the sweet decks that this can lead to, but I don't have any particularly sweet ones to go with it at the moment. Makes the Garden Priest probably the best card in this pack by a reasonable margin. And then you can also look to take this because it's like a solid card, but we've seen quite a few like good white cards. I mean, I passed a few of them early on, but if we're just going to continue to keep getting them, I guess it's fine. Like, it's just no one is taking them. And I don't think I'll be too unhappy if I miss out on a throbbing purebloods at this precise moment. And I can go either way here. I mean, we're not, strictly speaking, locked into black either. I mean, we just have 3 good black cards, but if we get some, tons of other good cards, then it's also fine. This is probably my least favorite magic creature, to be honest, since, I mean, while it's obviously great if you do get to destroy an artifact or enchantment, it doesn't happen that often. I do like it of the Horde Swarm, but you can never go too wrong with Prey Upons. And like this card is pretty good as well, but I don't know. I feel like this card goes around later than it used to in this format, like compared to other formats. I'm not quite sure why that is, because every time I have it, it's been great. So this is a pretty late advanced Stitchwing. I'm not sure what that means. I mean, should I be taking this? I don't think so. Should I be taking Crop Sigil? That's possible. We don't actually have any Delirium things yet. And like this card is pretty solid. I mean, people know about it, so you don't get people that often outside of me in pre-releases. Yeah, you've got to take Sister. And well, looks like blue's also been quite often. Having seen the late flying thing last pack. So I guess I actually quite like this card. Like if we end up being like shoved into some like alternate deck, I'm fine taking this one. This is a classic red creature, as of a year ago. I'll just take this. I'm always a fan of drawing some cards. Campaign and Finch, it's tabled. I would not have expected that one, since I thought it was definitely one of the more appealing cards in the first time around. So I guess I'll take it here, see what comes up. I'm not convinced I want any of these cards. I mean, do I want this for my constructed deck? Probably not. I guess I'll just take. I guess I'll take this. That can occasionally lead to sweet decks. I guess I don't want to play against that too often. Take this in case my deck suddenly becomes very sweet, but it seems unlikely. So slightly. Ooh, a Bruna the Fading Light. Well, it is great. And I'll almost certainly have something to get back with it. I actually didn't realize until now that Bruna is only rare while Gazella is mythic, which makes sense since she's, the Broken Blade, but yeah, I mean, it's not like there's actually just no green cards. I mean, I guess this is a green card. There's no green cards. The black card is like a Skirsdag Supplicant, which is, it's nice. I like it. But I mean, we already have a few black cards. We already have a couple of white cards. This card's great. We definitely can't cast this one though. Pretty sure. It's very disappointing. I guess we could have maybe did some madness thing there, but we didn't really see that much in the way of red in the first pack. But we got a bunch of we saw a bunch of random tricks, but not too much in the cards like this, which actually make your deck good. So we can take up like a Boon of Emrakul or a Graph Rats, and the Graph Rats does give us the out to Midnight Scavenge people. But is it better than just this? I actually think it might be. I think we're probably gonna have multiple 3-drops anyway, and running out of good 2s is always a problem. Dark Salvation. Well, I'm not gonna pass that card. That card's great. I mean, it's a little bit on the expensive side, but whenever you get any value out of it whatsoever, it's always fine. And maybe I'll pick up a few more zombies. Like this is a zombie. So some more good red cards going around, but this is fine. Wow, seems like red was the most open thing in the world. mean, it's not like we're not getting good cards in the other colors. Let's see. Well, given that we're slightly uncertain as to what exact direction we're going in here, I guess I can like just take this. Like, I think it's better than Rise from the Grave. Obviously, when this card's good, it's just really good, but like I don't think we're gonna like splash into like green or white. So we just want to make sure we actually have enough labels once we actually are 100% confirmed that this is what we're doing. So I guess this is the time that we take another Boon of Emrakul. Oh, another one of these guys. Another one of this. I'm not sure. Since the white did in fact, vanish, like I was saying, we're not getting very much of it in this pack. But on the other hand, I think we'll get plenty of it in the next pack, so let's take this one. We'll still probably get some ways to discard cards in pack 3. Well, we do have 2 Boon of Emrakuls to get back, and that's pretty exciting to me, so I'll just snap this one off. Ooh, another card for the constructed decks. Or alternatively, I can draw another couple of cards. Or I can take this thing. I actually quite like having this thing since it's like a big human to get back. Although this makes your deck more consistent. Put these green cards over here just now. I'll just take this, just in case we're running short on creatures by the time we get to the end of the draft. Guess we can take this Fiend Binder. Well, we're not running that well on zombies right now, but there's quite a lot of them in the next pack, so I'll take it and maybe see what happens. Alright, well, this is a 2-drop. Might need some of those. This card is really not very exciting, but once in a while there'll be a deck that just is really soft to it, so I'll take it, maybe sideboard it in. I don't think I'll play multiples of these anyway, so. Drownyard Temple, it's not really what you're looking for. But I guess we have, 3 rares in our deck already, so that's can't really complain too much. So like options are like Crow of Dark Tidings, which is a zombie, is not an irrelevant part to that card. And that's honestly about it, right? Like, don't think I want to, snap off the first pick to survive the night. It does not seem like a good plan. This card's a bit on the expensive side. Just not really much else going on here. Even if you're like heavy green, or if we're taking Solitary Hunter, which isn't an exciting first pick. Now we could take Magnifying Glass. While I've gotten a few more drafts in since last time, I'm not quite convinced that the format's draft is now slow enough where taking this, first in a pack is a great idea. Even though we are a bit on the more expensive side when it comes to cards. And this pack, I love Accursed Witch. Don't see me taking anything else here. Nope, definitely not. Well, there's nothing too outstanding, but I'm always happy with the Rancid Rats. Wow, I love this card. Not sure I can say no to this card. I mean, I know we're definitely a bit on the expensive side here with the various cards that we have, and we could probably do this other 2-drop. But like Ever After, such good value. So sweet. And it makes some zombies for my Dark Salvation. Can you say no? Alter Deal's sick, but we're 10 million miles away from that one. So it just comes down to getting another cheap card for a deck. And I think Poltergeist is probably the best card, but it's also like a 4-drop. Same with this guy. I don't think we've got enough vampires to make this worthwhile, so I'll just take the Cathar's Companion. I'm not very excited by it, but it at least isn't miserable. And Puncturing Light is fine. Usually get something decent. And we're just coming up to about the correct number of playables anyway. You know, like we started off, I would have been fairly happy to continue taking green. I think we had slightly better green cards at the time we opened Bruna. But on the other hand, like Bruna is such a huge beating, and like my deck isn't super fast, so it can take advantage of it. At least that's my theory. This guy's fine. Occasionally gets the Delirium, and is great. Epitaph Golem. Or Inquisitor's Ox. Now, like, they're basically very similar cards. Except this card goes into like way more sweet decks. But I'm never actually going to mill all those cards. You know, like, I'm not going to actually mill all the cards in my deck at any point. At least I don't think so. So I guess I should just take the Ox since it's easier in the curve. I guess I could have taken it just to hate draft it from somebody. Let's see. I guess I could take Magnifying Glass now, since we have made our deck a bit more on the expensive side. Such indignation. I'll take Wicker Witch this time. They don't really have much in the way of Delirium, but might at least make it harder for other people to get delirious, right? I definitely passed quite a lot of werewolves there. Werewolves would have been reasonably open. I'm not very excited by this card, but I mean, I guess it's an option. Aim high. Well, I always like having those on my sideboard. Even though it's rare to get caught out by one, you know, when someone gets you with it, they really get you. Oh, they add... I forgot that they add the cards to your collection now before you even build your deck. Okie dokie. This deck looks okay at this point. Definitely have quite a lot of creatures. And we've got like some powerful top end. Got a couple of value things. Just need to make some cuts. I suppose they don't need so many Inquisitor's Oxes. Don't really need the Delirium on Wicker Witch either. Possibly want to sideboard this in for like controlling matchups. And we didn't actually get anything to use madness. So maybe the Oxes are better than the vampires. Like I'm willing to believe that is the case. Since I'm really not using the ability on this anyway, and like 5 toughness is a lot. Like I could definitely see an argument for playing 18 lands. But I think we've got like enough cheap things going on, and we have like a Succumb to Temptation. So I think we might get away with it. Like maybe this card is just too bad, like we're just playing it as like a roadblock, but that's not really what our deck's about. Or like we could cut this thing. But I think this, combines quite well with, Succumb to Temptation and Puncturing Light and that sort of thing. Well, I think I'll go with this and adjust as necessary. And yes, we do have a bit more on the black card side of things. Not by much, but slightly, and also, these 2 drops are black, so yep, I'll go with what Modo says for once, and time for round 1.